Still record. Okay, there we go. Thank you, ladies, for joining. And we'll leave the line open for those who um would be coming in to join us as soon as they can. So today, you already know my name is Miranda, and I go by Mimi. For short, it's easy. By the way, Miranda is long, Mimi is very short. And it also helps me when I'm on the drive-through trying to make an order for my girls on Chick-fil-A. I just use Mimi, and it's easy for them too, because by the time I start telling them Miranda, and they're like, is it Mira? Is it Me? So Mimi, Mimi. All right. So today, thank you for joining. I was just telling myself that if no one joins, I'll just do a recording and share the link in the group for those who would be interested to join. So I just ended work a few minutes ago and opened the line here. Anyways, today we are talking about the definition of done, team agreement, definition of ready, and acceptance criteria. I call it AC for short. And team agreement, I call it TA. So we'll begin with definition of done for today. I'm not sure how much time I have because my daughters may surely need dinner, and I did not make any arrangement for that with daddy, but there's food. So so anyways, what is the definition of done? So the question to ask yourself, just as the name sounds, the definition of done, what does it mean to define something, and then what is done? To define something, to bring out specifications of something, to this definition to explain or describe something. And what is that thing? It's done. What is done? Done means that you have put all the specifications together, you have put all the items together, you have put all the ingredients or everything that has to make that project or that work come together and um, meet the specification or the requirement or the goal for the project. Has everything been done? Like, have we put in everything that is supposed to be put in? So questions to ask before donning it. That's what I wrote here on my notes. Question to ask before donning it. When I say donning it, sometimes it sounds funny, but I always say donning it. The first question to ask is it done? The second question is it done? And the third one is it done as in done? Because sometimes you say it's done, but it's not really done. Sometimes you say it's done, but it's just remaining maybe finishing touches. Let's say, for example, you were writing an essay on Scrum and you just gave the definition of Scrum and you're still thinking, you're like, oh, it remains just 2 paragraphs, I'll be done. By the time you said, oh, I'll be done by the time I'm done with 2 paragraphs. Okay, only 2 paragraphs remaining for me to be done. That is done. You are not yet done. And now the third one is it done as in it is really done? You have done everything. Oh, that no, the first one is when you have written when you have written what Scrum is. In the first paragraph, introduction, you've introduced your essay. I'm going to be talking about Scrum. Scrum is this, Scrum is this. That is done. You think you're done. Is it really done? No, it's not. And then the second one, done, would be when you've added another paragraph to Scrum and say, oh, in Scrum, there are events. These events are this, and this, right? And then that is done. And then you move over to done. Like, is it really done to like completely done? Meaning everything on the essay, have you dotted your I? Have you cut your T? Is it what the person is required of you? Is it what Scrum is all about? That is when you say that is the definition of done. Now, software developers always ask this question: what is the definition of done? Before they start working on a project, they always ask themselves, what is our definition of done? So the definition of done comes from the people building the project. It also comes from the clients who have put out the project there for you to work on. If the client said, I wanted this bottle of water pink, the cover pink, this the tag blue, and then the water pink, for example. Now you take all of those specifications that they've given you, everything, you write them down, and then you're making sure that your own definition of done as a team is also working alongside the definition of done from the client or the customer or the stakeholders. It is meeting what they are asking for. So the definition of done, you need to, first of all, before you even come together to make a definition of done, you need to know who you are. You need to know the part you're playing in your group. You need to know your, should I say, your function as a group member, the part, yes, the part you're playing in your group. You need to know who you are. You need to know your organizational level, where your level is, because the done for your level may not be the done for the next level. Let's say, for example, a company was making this water bottle. There's a department that will put in the water. For them, that is done. Once they have put the water in the bottle, that is done. But there's another department, then they'll push this water bottle to the next department where it will cover it. When they cover it, for them, they are done. But generally, there's a team that is waiting to make sure that the testing team, they are waiting to make sure that everything, does it have this cover? Does it have this paper? Does it have the water in it? Is it the right size of bottle? Is the expiration date written on it? And everything that has to be on it, they actually check, right? So the definition of done at your level may not be the same as the definition of done at another level or another department. So it depends on the level of your organization, what the definition of done is. For some group, maybe just the cover, like I said, for them, once they have covered it or closed it, that is done for them, they are done. Whereas there are another group that will wait until everything has been put in place, and then they say that is done. Now, delivery teams' definition of done is not the same as program teams' definition of done. And then it's not the same as portfolio teams' definition of done. They all have different definition of done in this department. Delivery teams will say our definition of done is when the consumers have had the product in their hand. We have delivered it to them. As it has reached the hands of our final consumers, then it has met the definition of done. While program team will say, okay, we have to program this, write out this, write that, and do a lot of paperwork and sign off here. We send it to the program manager to check to see if everything has fallen in place or is in place. Then we can call it definition of done. And then portfolio team will say, okay, what is it that we wanted for this particular product to achieve at the end of the day? Has it achieved it? So the definition of done on a team varies from one team to another. Your definition of done cannot be the same as my definition of done. And working in a Scrum team, a Scrum Master is supposed to understand this different level of definition of done, because you can get on a team and you begin to be confused, like you're not understanding what is going on. Oh, my team is saying this thing is done, but I don't think it's done. Maybe it's done on their end. They have to ship whatever it is that they have. Remember that they are building this item or this feature incrementally. So maybe the next stage where it is going to move from your own end to the other end would meet their own definition of done. So your own definition of done can or may not be the same as the next person. And now if your team is just producing, let's say, this water, that everything together, your team is the one doing everything, the covering, the labeling, filling the water in the bottle and everything, producing the bottle and everything until it gets to the hands of the final consumer, that will be your definition of done. Some teams will say our definition of done is when we cover it. Another team will be like, oh, until everything has been done and our consumers are now drinking the water, and then that is our definition of done, when they have come and said this is our definition of done. So we need a clear definition of done at each level of the organization. So the testing department needs a clear definition of done for their use. The product owner, the developers, and the scrum master on their part also need a clear definition of done. They may say, okay, by the time work gets to this level, that is our definition of done. Once it has moved to the fourth stage, that is our definition of done. Maybe building this thing had 7 stages, and at your end, in from stage your team is working on stage 1 to stage 3. Once you get to stage 3, that is done for you guys, and then you move it over to the next team, and the next team work from stage 3 to maybe stage 5. They work on these 2 stages, and two stages, and they're like, this is it, this is done for us, right? They move it to the next stage, and the next stage you say, okay, this is done for us too. They work on maybe 2 other stages, and they say this is done for us. So every team and every department would have a different definition of done. And if you're a scrum master, if you can understand your own team's definition of done, you'll be able to make adjustments, and you'll be able to understand that although your team is saying this thing is done on your end, it is actually done. It is now left for the testers to do their own part, and then let that item also meet their own definition of done. Like I said, the delivery teams have their definition of done, program teams have their definition of done, and everyone working on that project has their own definition of done. Your team's definition of done might not be the same as my team's definition of done. Maybe my definition of done is when the product is at stage 4, and then your own definition of done is when the product is at stage 5, and this product had 10 stages, for example, while another team will say our own definition of done is when the product has gotten to stage 10, right? So we have to make that clarity out there, that the definition of done for your team may not be the same as the definition of done for my team, and it may not be the same definition of done for the entire organization, because different departments have their definition of done, and they can only done these items or these feature stories or this project when it has met their own definition of done and not your own definition of done. So you would be held accountable if it has not met the definition of done by your own team and not my team. That is, if you were supposed to work from stage 1 to 3 and you miss out on stage 2, you did not deliver, or you did not do something that you were supposed to do on stage 2, and you just done it, and it moves over to me when I'm supposed to do stage 4, stage 5, and stage 6, and then I realize that, hey, group A, for example, skipped stage 2, right? And they only did stage 1 and 3, and then they done it and they sent it to me, right? I am only responsible for my own definition of done. I am not responsible for your own definition of done. But then again, I can always call to your attention and say, hey, this item or this product has not met has not gone through the stage 2 is missing. For example, I'll just type stage 2 is missing. I can see that stage 2 of this project is missing. What can we do as a team to bring that in? Do you want me to send it back to you, or do you want me to continuously work on it from my own end? If you say, oh no, don't send it back to us because that's how this particular project was supposed to be, it has actually met our definition of done, guess what? I am not supposed to argue with you. At least I checked in with you before working on my own definition of done. And I was supposed to do 4, 5, and 6. Guess what? I'll work on my own 4, 5, and 6 and maybe move it forward to the next person after doing it on my own end. Now, the definition of done is when all conditions, or if I were to define it, I'll say it's when all conditions or acceptance criteria has been satisfied by the team. When everything has been satisfied by the team, then they can done it. And this has also met the definition of ready. Some people always start with acceptance. No, some people always start with acceptance, definition of ready, and then done. They use done at the end. But why I started with definition of done is so that when we are, I'm doing the reverse. When we go and we start talking about acceptance criteria and we start talking about ready, then we will see at the end of the day that actually we did not even start from the bottom, but we started with the first, right? I'm just doing reverse for, that's how I do it my own way. So once everything has been accepted by the customers or the team, they say, oh yeah, this is good. And usually this definition of done can be done, or yeah, it's usually done during the sprint review, right? When the product has been completed and the team is reviewing the product. I've been using this bottle of water because it's easier and it's closer to me, and it has different criteria on it that we can use. The team meets during the sprint review, the product owner, the developer, scrum master, stakeholders, then the client, and they come and they say, oh yeah, this water bottle is exactly what we wanted, and it has the right quantity of water in it that we requested, and the expiration date, they're definitely checking this item. Is it meeting all the specifications? Is it meeting everything that is on our acceptance criteria? Sorry, some days back I ate okra. I guess it's the effect. So they ask themselves, is this meeting the acceptance? Has it met our acceptance criteria? And then somebody said, no, it hasn't. We had requested for a ping tag on this bottle. So why is the bottle having a blue tag? It has not met our specification. It has not met one of the items on our acceptance criteria list. So we will not be accepting that product, right? So the definition of done is only established, or it's only done, like I said from the beginning, if it is done as in done, when the clients, the team, and everyone on the team say, yes, it has met the definition of done, that product can actually be consumed by the consumers or the customers. And even the customers say, yes, I think I can drink that water bottle. It has been, it looks exactly the way we had ordered it. It's exactly what we needed. Now, it must, one thing we also have to keep in mind is that the definition of done must also ensure quality. Remember that although we Scrum we are producing fast, right? We are working fast. We are trying to not follow the waterfall process where we do one step at a time, one step at a time, and it doesn't matter how long you take on one step, right? But with Scrum, you can actually move an increment from one stage to another fast, right? Although we are doing these things fast, we are also making sure that the definition of done, or that product is meeting or has quality. Quality is key, is the number one key, because at the end of the day, if a customer rejects this, what happens is that we have to redo it again. Because guess what? In Scrum, customer comes first. In Agile, let me put it Agile, customer comes first, right? And we are working to add value to the business and to the customer. So if this water is not adding value to that customer, if the customer is rejecting it, it means that it is not adding value to them. Guess what? The review they are going to be giving will not be a good one concerning our company, our product, and our delivery. The entire team actually would not have a good review, and that does not add value to the business, and it does not also add value to the customers. We have not delivered, so we are not adding value to them, and they have not given us a good feedback, so our business have not added any value to itself, right? So you always have to make sure that the quality of done, that the definition of done also has a good quality, has also met some good quality, ensure of it. Now, if I may ask a question, anyone can answer. If you don't know, you just do pass in the chat, just chat pass. What can you do if the definition of done is lower? As in, what can you do if a customer had requested that this bottle, the cover should be pink, right? And then you guys are sitting on the sprint review to talk about the end product. And then the customer says, oh no, this is not what we order for. What can you do? You can unmute yourself and answer or type. Anyone?
Like, how you mean, what can we do? Like, fix it, right?
Of course, that's one of the things to do, to fix it too. Because, okay, imagine, okay, let's say, for example, I come to you, your name is Furera, right? Am I right?
Call me Shushu.
Okay, Shushu.
Is, yes.
You see, I've been saying, is this not Shushu? My head is telling me like, but the name is different. Anyways, now I know it's Shushu. So if I come to you during our sprint review and I'm saying, hey, Shushu, this thing has not met what I asked for. I had asked for a pink cover. Why are you giving me a white cover? What will you do? What do you think you can do as a Scrum Master on your team or as a team member?
Apologize and try to do another product, like fix it.
Okay, exactly. Yeah, that's one thing that you just have to rework it. That's good. You have to rework it. You're not supposed to argue with them. Rather, like you said, you just have to apologize and ask, and I wanted to say promise to make it up to them. But instead of promising to make it up to them, ensure them that you will make it up to them. You do your work and you don't promote user stories. That another thing too would be not to promote user stories that will not be able to meet the definition of done. If you see that a user story will not be able to meet the definition of done, don't promote it. For example, you say you're out of this paper color, let me say blue color or pink color, and the customer is requesting a pink color and you only have the blue one. You cannot continuously promote that user story or that request. Rather, you tell the customer politely that we are out of the pink color, but if you don't mind, 2 weeks from now, we would have it. And if you want us to put you on hold, we can put it on hold. If you want us to check in with you to see when it comes or when it arrives, or if you want to change your mind and go with the blue one, the blue is what we have available right now. We actually see Scrum. If you want to see Scrum in everyday life, you would see it. Even in your house, even as you do things around, you will see it. That Scrum has always been there. Even when you go to McDonald's and you're trying to place an order, from when you start placing an order, when they are putting everything together and until you're paying it and everything, you will see Scrum, right? So you don't want to promote user stories that cannot or that have not met the definition of done. Let's say at the end of it, the customer had requested pink and the cover is there. You cannot done it. You cannot call that item a done item. You cannot do that. You cannot done it, right? Because it is not done. It has not met the criteria of, it has not met even the acceptance criteria, because the customer had clearly told you that they wanted, for me to accept this bottle, I'm going to accept it only if it has a pink cover. And then now you're delivering with a white cover. It has not met their definition of done. It has not even met their acceptance criteria, right? So, and then the definition, okay, because I wrote here that for that question, here's the answer that I gave. I said, what can you do if it is the definition of done is lower or the customer declines on your work? I wrote that rework, don't promote user stories that have not met definition of done, because it prevents features from being delivered to customers because it has not met the definition of done. So you don't want to promote any feature stories that you know that is not going to meet the definition of done. Like I said before, to sum up the definition of done, and then we move into team agreement. Like I said before, the definition of done is when all conditions or acceptance criteria has been satisfied by the team working on the project. And also keep in mind that your team's definition of done may not be the same as my team's definition of done. the definition of done by the delivery team is different from the definition of done by the program team. It's also different from the definition of done by the portfolio team. Like each department has their own definition of done. Your definition of done could be when the item is at level 4, it is done for you, while their own is when it is at stage 5 or level 5 or whatever it is, right? So always keep in mind that every organization has a different level of definition of done. Your team will have its own, you will have your own, and sometimes different products too or different feature stories have different definition of done. That's one thing we also have to keep in mind. That just came as a reminder. Sometimes the feature stories on your backlog can have different definition of done. You also have to keep that in mind, and also remember that Scrum is flexible, and you also use a lot of imperialism because it needs to be you need to work on facts, right? Keep that in mind, and that is why the definition of done of your team cannot be the same as my team's definition of done. It may be similar, but it may not be the same. And also know that different feature stories have different definition of done. If feature story A can have can say, okay, onto the water is in here, that is done. Another feature story will say onto this paper tack is around the bottle, that is done. Another will say onto its cover. So always keep in mind, otherwise when you get on a Scrum team, you're gonna be like, but why are they not having the same definition of done? But if you have this in mind, then you'll be able to move smoothly. So now the next thing would be team agreement. Every one of us will have to give at least 2 team agreements. And what is a team agreement? A team agreement is a list of things to do and not to do as a team. That's all. That's the definition I'm going to give. I'm not going to give it too technical to confuse you. Simple as that. It's a list of things to do and not to do that has been adopted and accepted by the team. The team has adopted it and have accepted it. And the team agreement is usually written by the team members. No one is going to write as a Scrum Master, no one is going to write your team agreement for you. Another thing to do as a Scrum Master when you get on a new team after observing the team, your first 2 weeks where you're getting acquainted, you're familiarizing yourself with how they do things, their in-house style, their culture, the company's culture. You're getting to understand who is the man behind this, and the product owner, the developers, whatever it is, business analyst, whoever it is that is on your team, project manager. When you're understanding, you're familiarizing yourself with them by observing, listening for the first 2 weeks, right? When you take over office, as I always call it, when you take over office, the first thing that I will always advise you to do is to make a team agreement. That should be your first assignment on the team. That is going to make your team really, really know that they have a Scrum Master. You are not making any changes. And you also want to do this in a very respectful manner by asking the team if they already have a team agreement. If they say, yes, we have a team agreement, you say, okay, is it okay if I can take a look at it and just see and familiarize myself with it, because I do not want to break any of our team agreement. I want to be a part of this team. And then you go through it, and then maybe you have some 3 or 4 points, and then you can say, can I add a few suggestions to the team agreement? I have a few agreements that I think we can commit to. If the team says, yes, we would like to hear them, guess what? You now make your suggestions to them and say, hey, I think it will be good for our cameras to be on during our meetings so we can see ourselves. Or you say, oh, I think it is not good to eat food, but it's okay for us to drink water or liquids during our meetings. but not beer, of course, not of course, not beer or no liquor, anything like that, just maybe water and some other beverages and stuff like that. You get inside the team agreement, you see the ones that they already have, and you try to see the ones that you can add on the team, keeping in mind that you have been observing the team for the 2 weeks that you have been there. And you're observing the team, you have a game plan. You're looking inside the team agreement that you have written. I always suggest that you write your own team agreement. Then when you get on the team, you begin to do what I call a checklist, your team agreement. You have your team agreement and you're checking. Oh, okay. I see that everyone's camera is on, and that is what I had on my team agreement. Good. You check on it. And then you come back to talk only on the ones that were not checked on your list. You say you want to make suggestions, because guess what? You don't want to repeat the things that they already have on their list. You have to be vigilant to see that some of these items on their team agreement, they are actually keeping to it, they're actually committing to it, right? Then you just make suggestions on based on what you have noticed and the contribution that you can make to improve the team and grow the team or motivate the team as well. So that's a team, that's team agreement. So we are 6 of us, and we each need to give at least 2 team agreement here. We need to give 2 team agreements. So what do you think? Give your 2 team agreement. I already gave mine 1. Cameras on during meetings. So don't steal that one. I already gave that one. Cameras on during meetings.
I was gonna say that too.
Okay, no, change it. Say something else.
Because
So
now I don't see them, so I cannot know them. We need to know each other.
exactly.
But in the same group, it would be nice to be on camera.
I
I don't
know.
like being on camera, but sometimes you just have to do it on.
Exactly. We are
I
not
guess
doing.
I'm using myself now because
Yeah.
when you get a job and they insisted it's in the team agreement,
Oh,
what
it
I
is very, 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 like right now, because people are working from home a lot. Most companies they're actually requesting that you turn on your camera because they want to see that person that is in the background. They want to add a face to that voice. And this is like practice for you. What you're doing here, it's actually practice for you, because guess what? If you make a mistake, maybe you're tying your towel, you're stepping into your shower or something, we are the first people that will correct you, and you will be conscious of it. When you get the real Scrum job, what happens is that you're already conscious. You've already put it in practice. I am not saying people should turn on their camera for anything, but it's just to get you inside, to get used to seeing faces and talking to people. That is it. And besides, you do it only once every week. It's not like every day when you start walking, it's gonna be like a thing of every day, like the 15 minutes stand up. As I know, most companies for the 15 minutes stand up, they want your camera on. My mentor, for example, in their company, he tells me that's their number one team, like on the top of their team agreement, your camera must be on. They want to see you, they want to know that you're fine, and they want to actually put a face to that voice. And then after that, they do their camera on only for 15 minutes, that 15-minute session. And then after that, if you like, you turn it off the whole day. If you like, you turn it on. It's just your business at that time. So it's Shushu, right?
Yes.
You're going next.
I'm going next. Okay.
Yes.
Um.
So we talk about cameras on, right? Yes, that's my point. I have one more point to give, but I'll come back to it.
Okay. But that was my point too. But since you got it,
I stole it.
let me find another. What is be on time?
Okay, good.
That's my first one.
Yeah, be on time. Keep to time.
So second one, when you won't be able to make it, it would be nice to
notify the team. Okay.
To notify the team.
Notify the team in case of any absence or emergency.
Yes.
Okay, then Fatima, you're going next. Okay, so we are at 3 now. What is your team agreement? What do you think we can commit to? Like, if you were on a team, just say something. It must not be us here, but just like if you were to commit on a team. Can we brush our teeth while we're here? Can we play songs and dance? Unmute yourself if you can hear me. Sorry, we cannot hear you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, you hear me now?
You're fine. Yes, we can hear you now, dear.
So I would say that you are able to drink water, so drinking water is okay, but you're not
Perfect.
able to drink liquor.
Good.
Like that.
Water is okay. No liquor.
Uh-huh.
Okay, one more for you. Maybe we'll come back to you while you're still thinking. Elsie, can you go next? Or Shakira, can you go next? Or Nikki? One of you can just go next. While Fatima and myself, we are still thinking for our second ones.
Okay.
Go ahead, Nikki.
Let me try to. Oh dear.
Can we come here and dance?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself.
Okay.
I got in late. I was running home late, and I just got you guys now. And I would say if I get the opportunity to be on a team, I will. What was your question again, please? Can you rephrase it?
Yeah. Just give us 2 team agreements that you think we can commit on as a team.
I would say, I don't know if somebody has talked of no distraction. Like, I know most of us work from home most of the time, and some of us have kids. You wouldn't want kids to be running around or making noise around when you're having your team meeting.
Okay, as a team, we agree that no distractions. What's the next one? You are supposed to give 2, my dear.
Let me think of the next one.
Okay, anybody want to go?
I want to give my second one.
Go ahead, dear.
To be interactive, like way more interactive.
Exactly. There are some teams, like they asked me one interview question, like our team is very, very quiet. How will you make us interactive?
Wow.
How are you gonna make us? I just told them I'm gonna introduce games. I'm a fun person. I'm a fun person. I have a lot of games that we're gonna be playing.
Exactly. And brainstorming sessions and things like that.
Exactly. Okay, interactive. And Shakira, do you want to go? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right. Forgive me if I'm not. This is my tongue. I ate okra this week, so it's just coming out like the okra that I was getting in. Okay, I can give my second one to be, let's agree to have a business mindset or a professional mindset. Let's respect, that will fall under respecting one another. Yeah, I'll put, so what do you think I should write? Respecting one another or having a business mindset? I don't know what to put. I'm confused.
I think respecting one another.
Okay, respect. Okay. Okay, I gave my second one. So who is left? Or should we call the team agreement done for today? Can we done it? Okay, another one would be to try new things. I'm actually looking on, to try new ideas. Let me not put new things on it. Try new ideas.
That could also go with think out of the box, right?
Yes. And also another one could be accept corrections. There are some there are some team members that you cannot correct, like they feel like it is them who owns the team. You cannot, the product owner will tell you, I am the product owner. Yeah, so we can add that. And then what else can we add? Can we be on the phone while we're on the team? No. Hi, Mama.
No.
No. Okay. So this phone one should go under distraction. No distraction
Yes.
/ no phones. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. I see
Say
you.
hi.
I see you.
Say
Future
hello.
Scrum Master.
Yeah.
Future Scrum. My daughters are still yet to be back. I'm sure as soon as she gets home, she'll fly up here. Okay, so can we call that a day for today? Okay, another one that came to my mind. No, I mean, call the team agreement. We still have to talk about the definition of ready and then acceptance criteria. Can we, another one that came to my mind is, can we come to talk, like when we get together to talk on a project, is it okay for us to talk about our personal lives, or should we stay on, should I say stay focused, be committed, right?
I think we can do half and half.
Yeah, because exactly.
Okay.
She
Social
said,
life for lot for after the session is over.
yeah, we can
Yeah,
agree
after the
that.
session, we can just, yeah.
Yeah, we can agree that we can talk about our personal lives once the session at the end.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, of our meeting, like, okay, hey, my kids went to school resumption, or can you believe things are expensive, like that.
Yeah.
So
That
we
would be
can,
awesome.
exactly, because it's gonna keep the team. That's one thing you have to keep in as a Scrum Master, because you don't want to go in a team and become a robot.
Right.
Yeah, because once you become a robot and you're just focused on just doing the job, they will feel like you are, how can I put it? You're a tyrant. Let me put it. They will not feel comfortable expressing themselves. They will just, team members will be going away just feeling like I cannot even open up to my Scrum Master, because my Scrum Master just is too focused. Like, we only have to do the job. There's no time to even break down and just relax and have a little bit of work fun. For example, you can call it work fun, right?
Yeah.
Like that. So we can say work in the morning, play later.
Yeah.
Work in the morning, not play. We can say work in the morning and chat later. That makes it better. Okay. So we can call that done for, we can done our team agreement. Or anybody has something else to add? If not, then we can done our team agreement. That is why I started with the definition of done, so that I can use it at the end of each of these. So what is left now is definition of ready. So what is definition of ready? The two, definition of ready and acceptance criteria, are very short to discuss on. The big one is the definition of done that I started with. The definition of ready means that, do we have everything put in place to go? Like when you're doing a race and they say ready, set, then go. So done is actually go, right? Ready. So let me put it the way I have done before with my team, to what I used to coach with this definition of done when it's easy. So acceptance criteria is number one, and it is the athletes that are standing on number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are standing, the athletes. Acceptance criteria, they have been accepted to run the race. Now, definition of ready is when they say ready, right? And then go is the definition of done. That's how I put it, to be able to remember them, because they can ask you an interview question and you just use this as an example, and you have an A on that question. As easy as that. They can say, just give us an example of definition of done, ready, and acceptance criteria. These three, they go hand in hand. And then you just say acceptance criteria is when the the feature stories has been accepted by the team to work on, when the product owner has put these items on the product backlog, and then we sit during the sprint planning and we begin to accept We are accepting the ones that we're going to work on for this sprint. We are pulling them off the sprint backlog and moving them into the sprint backlog. We are accepting them. And then before it even gets to that point of accepting, for meeting that acceptance criteria, right? Has it also met the acceptance criteria of like the clients, right? The clients will say, oh, I only want this bottle of water when it has this cover, this paper, and the water in it, and it is this size, and it has the expiration date on it. That's what they write, that we will accept this bottle of water if it has the cover, the paper, the water, the size, and the expiration date. And it is blue, actually, it's not pink. The paper is blue, not pink. That is acceptance criteria. Now, definition of ready is when you say, okay, everything is here now. Are we ready? Are we ready to begin the sprint? Are we ready to begin the sprint? Are we ready to begin the sprint planning? Are we ready to start working on the item? So definition of ready has to go all along from the process from one stage to the next. Are we ready to do daily stand-up? Are you ready to do sprint review? Are we ready to do, has the product been worked on to the point where we can now do a sprint review? Are we ready to do a retrospective? So it moves from one stage to the other until the end, until it meets the definition of done. Any questions? So that's it for today. Any question? I don't know how long we've been here, but we are almost here for like an hour. Any question with regards to definition of done, team agreement, definition of ready, and acceptance criteria? Always keep in mind that if a client or a customer says they don't, that product or that increment has not met the definition of done or has not met the acceptance criteria, you cannot deliver. Rather, you have to rework on it. You cannot deliver because you are there to add value to the business and not bring the value down. You're there to add value to the customers also. And also remember that you have to deliver high quality product. So if the product does not even meet, if it's not even going to meet the definition of done, don't even done it. Don't even done it. If it has not met the specifications, the requirement, it has not met the goal for that sprint, don't even done it. Don't say we are done. You are not done. Don't say it's like it's like I'm about there. You know, most time you have a Kanban board that is overcrowded with so many in progress things, right? And somebody will say, oh, in progress, you can see like 30 items in progress. And then when you go to done, you see like one item, right? In done, and then in progress, you see a lot of them. As a Scrum Master, this is what you do if your team is having such a situation where you look at the board and you see that doing, done, or say in progress is still the same as doing, right? So you have to do, I wanted to make a picture. Let me use, can I use the whiteboard? Let's say you have, where's my pen? Let's say you have to do, you can see this whiteboard, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And then you have doing or in progress. Sorry, my computer's pen is downstairs. I cannot go get it. Just pardon me. Okay. So to do, I need to put it a hyphen in there, but it's okay. So to do the item, let's say item 1 or feature 1. Oh Lord, I should have brought that pen. This computer's pen. Feature 2, feature 3, feature 4. And then you have only done just maybe 1. And then you have maybe 2, 2 here. You have 2 here. No, 3. Let me put this 3. for example, right here. Let's say it's just even just crowded with a lot of doing, a lot of doing stuff, right? You want to, as a Scrum Master, remember that for any item to be moved inside or move into done, it has met the definition of done. If it has not met the definition of done, leave it there. Leave it in here, in doing. Let it be here. Let it come back there. If it has not met the definition of done, it cannot be done. Don't encourage your team members to have, I call it dirty work, or to have incomplete work, not really dirty work, but incomplete work. And then they say, no, it's just remaining for us to put the cover of the thing and it will be done and stuff like that. It's just remaining for us to cut the I's and dot the T, cut the T's and dot the I's, then it will be done. No, tell them once you cut the T's and dot the I's, then you can move it over to done, because it has not met the definition of done, right? And then if you find out that, or you see that your board is having a lot of items under doing, a lot of items, like they're just piling up doing, I think it's time for you to have maybe one-on-one sessions with your developers or the team you work with, your team, and say, do you think that it will be good for you to take one item from to do, and once you're doing it, until you're done it, don't bring in another item? That is a healthy way of doing it. That is a healthy way to check with your team to make sure that you are actually doing your work without any difficulties. Remember that it's a self-organized team. And because it's a self-organizing team, you want to be polite the way you talk. You want to talk with respect. Say, hey, team members, can we pause for a while and just finish the things that the items or the feature stories that are under doing? So I don't want any more items, or it would not be good. Not really, I don't, because if you use I, they'll just begin to think you're a Scrum mommy. So just say, it will be good if we don't take more items from to do. Let's leave the to do the way it is and try to focus under the doing and done them before we get back inside to do, because we are now overcrowding our doing. And it's gonna bite us at the end of the day, because it looks like we are actually doing things, right? But we are not, because we are only pulling out things from the to-do list and piling them up under doing. They are just sitting there. Imagine that the doing has 9 items, for example, and you have 5 developers on your team. Okay, these 5 developers, each of them are working on 1 items, and there are 9 items under doing. Guess what? 4 of them are just sitting there and not being worked on. I don't know if you understand the point I'm trying to make. It is your place to call their attention in a polite and respectful manner to tell them that, can you work on this feature story? Once you've done it, then you can now grab another one. So no more, don't add any more stories until you finish one and then you grab another one, so that way we stay ahead and we know exactly the things that we have done. Because otherwise, at the end of the day, it will look like your team is working, but it's only one item that is under done, and then you have like 9 different items under doing. And then at the end of the day, everything has ended. Nothing has been moved to done, but the whole day there were 9 items under doing. It was looking as if your team was working, but they were not actually working. Because if you are working, things should be showing that you're working. So it's better for you to leave those things there under to do until you've done one, and then you can get back and do another one. Am I saying that it applies on every team? No, it does not apply on every team. There are some team members or some teams where you can actually multitask. There are some teams where you can actually multitask, where you can be working on 2 things at the same time. You will just have to study your team, your organization, and understand their working style, their company's culture, the way they do things, and then you go with the flow. Okay? So that's one point that I had to make with us, or to share with us, and that is it. Any question? Otherwise, we will call it for tonight. Did anyone like today's session? Like, did you learn anything?
Yes, I learned a lot. Thank you so much for this session.
Thank you for being here,
Me
taking
too,
time.
me
Yeah,
too.
taking your precious time. I know it's not easy taking your precious time out of the blue to be here. So thank you. Thank you. I'm definitely
Thank
going to post it and then share the link for those who missed it to be here, because some of the queens requested that I share it because of their time, they are in bed already sleeping. So yeah, so thank you ladies so much for hanging here. I think someone just joined now, but we are leaving. Oh, sorry, we're gonna put the link up in the group and you just watch from there. I believe you learned something, maybe one or two, or just add something to what you already know.
I'm joining late.
I know, my dear, I know. Don't worry. See you on Sunday. Sorry again, I was not here on Sunday. I had an
Okay.
emergency, yeah. So thank you, ladies, for catching up today. Thank you and have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good night. Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Good
everyone.
night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.